All right, so we're just going to call the meeting to order, and I'll take roll call real quick. We have Fran, Liz is here, Mrs. B, Elena is here, Stephanie, and Teresa. And who we don't have this evening are Deanna, and we don't have Darlene yet. Who else are we missing?
I've yet to meet Deanna.
Kim called. She's just going to be.
Yeah, Kim is going to be late.
She's in traffic as well.
Right, so that's 3. Got a couple more. Let's see, who am I missing? Oh, and Susie Velez did send me a message saying that she's resigning. Finally got too much for her.
Who was
Leslie?
And Leslie, yes, Leslie. And I have not heard from Leslie, Darlene, or Deanna, so I don't know what's happening there. But, you know, people may pop in still. I got stuff from Darlene, but didn't hear that she wasn't going to be here. So I don't know what that means.
I don't either.
Okay. So
I'll send the mayor a quick text.
okay, sounds good. I know that she is not in town. So she's at some, I think there's a conference this week that she may be attending. All right, so any public comments for items not on the agenda? And I don't see any public to make comments for items not on the agenda. And we don't have our advisors here this evening, and I'm just assuming that they're off doing some sort of conferencing thing too. So looks like we're going to have a spare meeting. So we can dispense with that. This is something that Darlene sent me. I'm going to put this up in just a minute. Darlene sent me her summary for the year, and I've sent that to the outreach members of the outreach committee, Leslie and Fran, and so just, you know, so that you can incorporate that in your
And me.
summary, and Liz, yes, Liz, so that you can incorporate that into your report that you want me to send to the city council when we're ready. And so what I'm hoping to do tonight is to at least do officers and talk about subcommittee appointments. My understanding is that the subcommittees are kind of moving around a little bit. And Darlene, I believe, wants to be the Community Relations and Resources Subcommittee, and I think she's already expressed that desire, but she's not here to represent that. And then Deanna wanted to express that she wanted to go on to the business retention and business development and retention subcommittee. So that becomes a very full committee with that. And what I'd like to do is just sort of confirm, you know, those appointments on behalf of the EDCAC in the likelihood that Deanna will want to be on the business development and retention subcommittee. Darlene will want to go on to community relations. And then that means that the outreach committee will have Leslie, Fran, and Liz, which is fine. It's plenty. Go ahead, Fran.
No, I was going to say, I agree, Brian. I think that with Leslie, Liz, and myself, I think we've got that subcommittee covered well.
Great, very good.
My 2 cents.
Okay, good. I was hoping Darlene could come and talk about Main Street a little bit. My thought is that, you know, the subject of Main Street is a one that's going to sort of take a concerted, sort of focused view of things. I know Darlene has been doing a lot of research over the past couple of months, and you know, I'm just kind of thinking that maybe you know, there's a the committee can request that there be sort of somebody that will really look at the universe of things that California Main Street can offer and make a recommendation to the EDCAC as a whole regarding what we do. We can, you know, sort of muddle through with our current membership, but I wonder whether California Main Street has a lot more to offer. Elena, did you have something, your hands up?
Oh, yeah, let me go with the vein that you were on now, and then I wanted to circle back to something else.
Okay.
I've been going to the meetings with California Main Street as well, and they do have a plethora of things that they can offer, and they do work with a lot of different communities. So it would behoove us to kind of dive a little bit better into it. They have so much knowledge. You might need more than one person to kind of unveil it and peel back the layers to see how it would be relevant for our community. I think that's really important. With regards to the subcommittee appointees, it's really important. I feel that, you know, before we appoint anybody, that they're actually present. This will be the second meeting, or maybe the third meeting, that Deanna hasn't been present since joining. And so I did meet her, I believe, last week, but it was briefly at a restaurant. But I think it's important before we assign through the EDC, through our group, that we actually meet her, don't you think?
Yeah, I do. I think it's really important. Yeah.
And if she wants to be a part.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I agree. She's kind of an unknown person to us, and
So
she needs to speak for herself. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, well, we won't do anything with committee appointments. So, you know, we don't necessarily need to, but I wonder, you know, everybody kind of knows where people are shuffling around to, and you know, at this point, I think that the leadership for the subcommittees can reach out to, you know, Darlene and to Deanna, you know, make sure that you know, they're connected, I think, with the subcommittees that I've heard that they want to be on. And I know you've already done that, Helena. And I think that Darlene has already talked to Kim. So I think that process is well underway.
No, Darlene hasn't talked to Kim.
I think she has.
Oh, well, I only said that because I asked Kim if she reached out, and she said no.
Oh, okay. Well, Kim is here now, and maybe Kim can talk about communications that she's had
Can
with
you hear
people
me?
that want to. Yep, we can hear you just fine.
All of my controls are wanky. I don't know why. So can you see me?
Nope. Here's the thing. We're now in a webinar format as opposed to a meeting format.
All right.
And you know, so I don't know why I don't get to see the gallery here.
I don't see it either, and I don't see where I got where I could unmute myself, but it wasn't giving me that ability at the beginning.
Right, right.
You can't change backgrounds or anything.
Correct. Yeah, I've tried to convert it back to a meeting format. You know, I thought the webinar would be better because people don't have to go through their Zoom accounts to get access to the meeting. But apparently there's some other drawbacks I wasn't aware of. As a, I don't know why it's set it up this morning for the business forum. Like I said, I could see everyone, and that was and everybody could.
We couldn't
this morning,
see.
Helena, could you see everyone this morning?
We saw no.
No, we can only see you.
Okay, all right. Ugh.
And
All right.
we don't even know who's even participating.
Yeah, I can't, yeah.
Okay, well, let me tell you who's here. Fran, Elena, Kim, Mrs. B, Liz, Rosa Vivian Fernandez, welcome. And Stephanie Correa is here, and Teresa Lavanino is here. So we've got, you know, a nice group. Talk about where things are and so forth. But Kim, you had some communication with Darlene offline and understand that she wants to be on your committee. Is that?
Yeah,
Right.
she texted me and asked me to call her, and
Okay.
I don't think I need to go into the reasons, but she
No.
is looking to change committees.
Mhm.
And you know, I'll work with anybody that comes to our group, and I just told her it's really not my decision. It's really we need to talk to Brian and get it on the agenda and talk about it as a group.
Mhm.
And how we want to deal with that, because there might be other times people want to move to a different committee and get different experiences. But with that, she wants to bring the person she recruited. She recruited a gal that I think is a great data analyst kind of mindset. I don't know her yet, but she wants to pull her off of that other committee and bring her to my committee too.
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
as I pondered it just a little bit, I'm not sure that's the best place. Well, we need some analytics and some stuff like that. We're not there yet. We're not.
Mhm.
It's not about the whole city so much. And so I think that you got to look at that. Where's the best place for that kind of skill set? I'm not sure
Mhm.
Parks and Recreation is the place.
Yeah, and I did talk to Deanna about her, where she might like to go, and she, initially when she first came on EDCAC, suggested that she look at business development and retention as a great location, because I know that you guys are going to want to get into doing surveys, business,
Yeah.
and all that stuff. So I thought she'd be great on that committee, and she agreed. So I'm just hoping that she'll pop up and confirm. And if not, we'll do it next time. Not a
But
problem.
as far as I'm considered, I just think that we're all on the same playing field.
Yeah.
I'm kind of guiding this committee, but I don't really think of it as my committee because anybody can come in and give that input at any time. That's what we should be about.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree.
And that's just the way I think. Sorry.
No, it's good. So let's talk about officers. I think we're pretty well equipped this evening. We have 8 out of 11 here, and so maybe we can have nominations or volunteers to be president and vice chair and vice chair, and we can dispense with that formality.
Sure. I mean, I'd like to see Stephanie move up to our chair. I think that there's still a lot that she can do for us, and she was our vice chair, and I think it's a natural next step for Stephanie. So I'd like to see her. I'd like to nominate her as chair.
Okay. All right.
I think Stephanie and Helena should switch.
Okay.
Helena probably needs a break for a little bit.
No,
She's got a lot
I agree.
going
I
on.
agree. I agree with Fran. I think Stephanie should step up, and then Helena could vice chair, or if someone else wants to. But I think that they've been working together, and I think that they could probably continue to help each other and just switch roles. That's just my 2 cents.
I'd
Yeah,
like to
it's good.
see, I'd like to see someone new as a vice chair, I mean, yes, Stephanie and Helena have worked together. And so now Stephanie knows kind of what's been done before and will carry that torch on it as her new role as chair, and then look at getting someone new in there to kind of bring a different insight too. So I think this is a really great time for that. Helena's brought us to today, and we appreciate that. And Stephanie will carry on some of the things that are still yet to be kind of put on the shelf, but I think having someone else come in will give us some other perspective. So
Mhm.
Do you think maybe Kim, would you like? Oh, I heard a funny noise back there. What was that about?
It was the noise that used to come out of my dad's mouth when he didn't want to do something. Oh, did we just get kicked out?
No,
Nope.
no, we're here.
Okay.
Yeah, I just stopped the video of me because I got sick of looking at myself. There's only so much I can take.
Brian's insecure right now.
It's all these women around him.
That has never been a problem.
I figured not.
This is Liz. What about Teresa as vice chair?
Oh, I'm right now I'm out of area. I'm back and forth so much.
So I tried nominating you last time around. You keep making excuses.
Yeah,
I know. I know. I'm like Kim.
I'll second that too. And I tried second it last time. I mean, Teresa, it's definitely something that you can do easily.
What was
Especially
that
if it's
sound?
stuff-
What was that sound Kim made?
Well,
Especially-
let me just help her out because we're both really busy right now with the Parks and Rec Committee. We have 2 extra subcommittees that each of us are heading. And so she's barely into town. I barely can grab her for our meetings and stuff. Her time schedule is crazy. Is there anybody else that's interested? I mean, we're to that point with the Parks and Rec stuff where it's time to get down and dirty and work on policies, work on waivers, work on the low hanging fruit that we can get out there and an e-blast before summer. There's just a lot on both of our plates right now.
Mhm.
Well-
Mrs.
well,
B
my
has been awfully quiet.
I'm just listening. I missed the last meeting. I'm trying to sort out all the personalities and
Well, right now, Mrs. B, we're just trying to figure out officers.
Yeah.
And
What is the requirement for vice?
There you go.
Chair.
Good
well,
question.
well, the big thing for vice chair is just to step in and then to talk together with the chair about the agenda for each meeting, and me secondarily, but mostly to work with the chair to sort of flesh out where the committee needs to go. So for example, we really desperately need to have some focused conversation about what projects we want for the SEDS effort. And this is on the agenda tonight, part of input, so I don't mind talking about it. But this is something that the chair and vice chair could get together and sort of strategize how to have the committee address that particular topic. So, you would support each other in figuring out what to do with the committee discussion, sort of the process kind of thing. Things that I have, sort of been doing. I've been hoping that the chair and vice chair could really take that over and not. And I would be there to record the meeting and offer, some assistance and serve as a resource, but I wouldn't really, have a very big role in the meetings per se. That would be something that chair and vice chair would figure out. And so, that sort of SEDS topic would be one thing that the chair and vice chair could sort of say, okay, we're going to get together and figure out how we're going to ask the subcommittees to give us some input, and what are we going to do during our meeting about that topic. So just for example. But then for the most part, the chair is going to run the meeting, and the vice chair is going to run the meeting when that's not possible. So that's kind of basically it for the meetings. And then, the chair and vice chair, work with me on the agenda. So I know that I'm got the right things in there, for the committee to work on. It's not a big, huge lift. It's not a big, huge deal.
You know what? I'll go ahead.
Yay.
Woo, we did it, Liz. We did it. Good job.
Yay,
Teresa.
Teresa.
Good job,
Yeah.
Teresa.
Now I'm gonna have to move back to San Juan full time. No, joking.
Okay, see, Deanne is just calling about the dial-in details. And I think I need to send her the invite. So let me do that just for a second here. Yeah, I don't know why she didn't.
Hey, Teresa, when are you coming back into town?
Probably in about a week or two.
Okay.
Yeah.
I feel like we're watching an episode of like, what is it, The Mask or whatever, where you don't know who the person is underneath.
Yeah, isn't it
Yeah.
weird?
I love that.
And now we've got Gina who's gonna get on. We're still not gonna know who she is. We
No,
can't
we're
see her.
not. We're gonna know her voice before we know her.
Yeah.
At least, Fran, you got a picture.
Oh, yeah, I do. My
I
little
love
family.
that picture.
My little family.
What is that truck? What year is it?
It's a 1949 Chevy, all
Oh my
original.
goodness. I
We're
had a
second
60.
owners.
I had a 61. I thought that
Oh.
was cool. That's really cool.
Cool. Yeah. Thank you.
Okay, I've got the login. One tap mobile is what she needs. So give that to her.
Look at Brian. You can work for telecom now.
Yeah, I've become pretty good at this stuff. All right, hopefully she'll be able to join soon. I just sent her the number to use.
Great. Thank you.
Yeah, great picture. Did we finish the discussion on moving people from committee to committee?
Not yet, but when Deanna gets on here, she says she's in the call now.
I don't know.
And-
I just didn't know if I missed something, honestly.
Yeah, let's see. Oh, there she is. I'm going to allow her to talk. All right,
Hi.
Deanna, you
Hi,
have a
Deanna.
voice.
I know, right? Sorry, I'm late.
It's okay. We'll only know your voice. We can't see anybody.
Well, I have my I can, if you guys are on Zoom, I can, my camera can be on. Sorry.
No, you don't need to.
Okay.
No, the
Okay.
cameras aren't working.
The
Okay.
cameras aren't working because he's set it up as a webinar. And
Okay.
so it's a different look.
Well, it
Okay.
does come on if you're talking.
Yeah.
So your
Right.
picture, if you put your picture
Yeah.
on, if you put your face on
Very
there,
cute.
it will
Thank
come
you.
on.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you do, can you do that,
Yeah, four
Deanna? That
sides.
way we
Yeah,
can.
I'll try to add that.
Just where my brain is.
I have the company I work
Can
for.
can everyone mute, please? It's a lot of talking. and
No,
it's getting
I
really
cannot mute.
confusing.
I do not have the control to mute.
Well, stop talking, woman.
Okay. I just got handed some potato chips, so I'm happy.
So I see Darlene is here also.
Oh,
So
great.
the two big questions that we have that we're talking about, both Darlene and Deanna, are where y'all want to go with respect to your subcommittees. And so, Deanna, your hand is up, so go for it.
Oh, yeah, so I'm eager to get on whatever committee. I was thinking more the downtown business committee. But if
Mhm.
that's too full, then that's okay. I'll just defer.
Too full? I don't know. I think that is a great choice, actually.
Okay,
Yeah. And I think everybody agrees that that's a great choice. Based on the conversation we were having just a few minutes ago.
okay, great.
So with that, we need a formal vote from the EDCAC. So just a motion and a second and a vote to have Deanna go on the Business Development and Retention Subcommittee.
I second it. If somebody did it.
Okay. And
Thanks.
so
Who was the
So-
first? And who was the
Darlene
second?
made the motion to put Deanna on the business revival.
I like that. Let's change the name of the committee to Revival. So All right, good. So let's just do a roll call. Let's just do a voice vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Good.
Aye.
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 Any nays? Any nays? That's not a nay.
Is that a dog?
That was a woof. Okay.
Sorry, that
All
was
right. So Deanna is formally appointed to the Business Development and Retention Subcommittee, along with Mrs. B, Helena, and Stephanie. So that's a great
Good
committee.
team.
Thank you. Excited.
Very good.
Welcome aboard.
And we had and then we also have the question regarding Darlene's. Did Darlene disappear? Nope, there you are. So Darlene, can you talk about where you would like to go?
Yes, I would like to be on the Community Relations and Resources Committee, please.
Okay, so is there a motion for having Darlene appointed to the Community Relations and Resources?
I motion
Subcommittee?
for Darlene to become a part of my committee.
I second it.
All right. All right, all in favor, say
Aye.
yay.
Aye.
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 All right.
Aye.
Very good. Very good. Any nays? I don't hear any. So Darlene, you're officially appointed to the Community Relations and Resources Subcommittee, along with all those other wonderful people.
Thank you, Teresa and Kim.
All
right.
Yay. Be nice to have you.
All right. Let's do it.
So,
We
yeah,
need
so
resources.
what I would like to suggest, we did bring this, we had this topic up before. California Main Street came up, Darlene, while you were out. And one of the things that I think would be good, and I'm going to make the same suggestion for the SEDS effort as well, that one member of each subcommittee most interested and most knowledgeable about California Main Street get together and talk about that platform and see where it is what to recommend to the EDCAC to go forward to the City Council regarding how we use that platform. And my suggestion here is that Helena's been doing a lot of evaluation. So is Darlene. Both of you are in different subcommittees now, and don't know if anybody on the outreach subcommittee feels especially drawn to California Main Street. But what do you think, Fran?
No, I've just started to jump in on it, and I know Leslie was involved in it. So I think we would have to have just a quick conversation,
Okay.
Liz, Leslie, and I, just to sort of designate that. But I like that that approach, Brian, having one person from each of the subcommittees.
Very good. Okay. So you guys will talk and then we'll figure it out. But does the committee as a whole feel like that's a great idea?
Yes.
Yes.
Definitely.
Excellent
so.
idea.
Okay. Well, I hear a consensus there. So what I will do is help you folks once we get the outreach committee assignment taken care of with getting together to talk about how we do that. The second thing I'd like to talk about is how the EDCAC will approach.
Can we please mute? There's too much going on and we can't hear.
Yeah, I'd like the EDCAC as a whole to talk about how you think what kind of process, what kind of strategy we need to have to get projects recommended to the City Council for the SEDS program. It's going to be very project oriented, and I was thinking that we might do the same thing, just focused on SEDS.
I have a suggestion.
Yeah, go ahead.
I have
Yeah.
a suggestion. This is Darlene.
Uh-huh.
Since what I feel we all need to do is some planning and look at specific projects. And I know Kim had talked about this at her last meeting that she had at the Vets building. You know, we need to figure out what specific projects we really want to accomplish and pick from 1 to 3 of them that we can maybe get done in the next year or two and take those, well, or even in the next 5 years, because the SEDS is for the next 5 years. And, you know, each group pick 1 to 3 projects that they really want to get done. And those are the ones that we then take to the city council and say, this is what we want to put on the SEDS.
Okay, so I have a suggestion. Each of the subcommittees, as you get together, are going to need to talk about projects that will end up in the SEDS, and it could be multiple. It'd be good to have, you know, a big old long list, and we could, you know, do some prioritization when we get all the project list. When we get the whole project list together, the EDCAC can say, you know, we like the first 10, or we like the first, you know, 12, you know, and sort of put things in order, most important for the community and so forth. But what I would suggest is that if you let me know when your subcommittee meetings are, we can, you know, sort of quickly, I think, deal with this by sort of having a little facilitated conversation about SEDS among each of the groups. And then I would compile a list based on that exercise. Be much easier, and I think a better process than to get the whole EDCAC, you know, to, you know, list out 20 projects. So what do you think about that idea?
I think that's an excellent one. And one that came up in our last meeting was that we look at our current SEDS and see what's already in our current SEDS that we don't participate in, and see what's being currently funded and where there's still funding, available funding, because there is available funding that has not been tapped into. So we need to take a look at that.
So what I would do is I would, I know the business, the outreach committee of one had the strategy, the SED strategy from last time. But what I would do is I would distribute that to each of the committees, and then schedule meetings at my attendance at your usual meetings after your, and just kind of go through the existing projects, and we talk about you know, which ones you want to see continue, which new ones you
But there
want
aren't
to be
any.
added.
The problem with the last SEDS is there is not a list. This is brand new to this particular round of the SEDS. This is a new thing that they're putting in. So there isn't a list in the old one.
Yeah, there are recommendations for economic development activities. And so I think it'd be useful at least to look at the prior document to see, you know, what that looks like. But I agree with you. This is a new emphasis on projects for this SEDS. So it's useful to look back, though.
But also, Brian, it was brought to our attention by 2 of our advisors in our last meeting that there is current programs available and funding that's still on the table that we haven't even tapped into.
That's
what they
fine,
said.
but you need to plan what's best for our community, and that's where you go and try and tap into money. You don't try to tap into money and say, okay, this is what we want. No, you have to have a plan. It's best
I think
I
think you're getting the wrong idea, Darlene. That's
no,
not what
I'm
I'm
not
saying.
getting the wrong idea.
I think you are. You're getting the wrong idea. You're getting the wrong idea of what I'm saying. What I'm saying is this was brought to
just one at a time.
This was brought to our group in our last meeting that from our advisors who've been dealing with it. You haven't been dealing with it, neither have I been dealing with it, nor has this committee been dealing with the SEDS before. And we don't know. You have not, Darlene. This is all new to all of us.
So I think what would be helpful is if we we need to come to terms with what kinds of projects we think would be helpful. I think at some point, the subject of funding for programs is going to be very important. I think both of you are correct. I think we don't want to list projects for which we don't know funding will be available. And we need to know what funding is available in order to make that connection. So I think in the process, we're gonna get, sort of both ends of this, handled. So it's a little bit of an iterative, excuse me. Sorry, it's a little bit of an iterative process, looking at projects and then looking at funding availability and selecting those that have should be high priority based on funding availability. But then also, it's good to have some aspirational things in there where you just have projects that you hope you can find funding for. So I think it's both, actually. And
Well,
then
Brian, I have read what you need to do, and I have read it in several places on Main Street. As far as organizing what you want to do and the goals that you want to accomplish, you get that set first, and then you start matching your funding to what it is you want to do. And
yeah,
that is the correct way to do it.
And that could be part of the conversation that you have as your subcommittee with Brian. And I think Brian going and talking to each of our subcommittees about this is a good plan. And so Darlene, save all that, and it'll be part of the conversations that you have in your subcommittee.
That's very nice. I agree with that.
I-
As a process, and like I said, I think we need to come at both ends. Deanna, do you have your hand up?
Yeah, so obviously being new, so I would like to understand those ground rules too. We do want to be aspirational, but maybe we call that out, like Fran just said, in the subcommittee, we say, this is aspirational at this time. We don't have a funding, right? We should be able to do both.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, great. Okay, good. Well, we have a little plan, a little strategy here. Helena,
Yes, I'm here.
did you have something else? Your hand's up.
Oh, no. I'm sorry, that was up previously.
Okay, all right, good. All right, well, I'll be in touch with the leadership of each of the subcommittees, and then figure out when you guys are going to meet, and you can just send me a note and I'll be there. And we'll run through a facilitated conversation about the SEDS program. Very good. So excellent. I'm encouraged by that. It's been something that's been worrying me for a while. I don't want to get to have the SEDS draft prepared by the EDC, San Benito County EDC, and then just be reactionary. That's not a good place.
See, Brian, this is when we should be seeing your face in a not worried way. So
Well, let me do that. Okay. How's that? All right. Okay, very good. Let me pull up the agenda. Oh, and by the way, Deanna and Darlene, when you were out, we did appoint vote Stephanie as chair and Teresa as vice chair. And
Sounds good.
I'll continue as your worthy secretary. Okay, so let me
Thank you.
find
Yep.
the agenda.
yeah, there's no way we could find someone to be secretary.
Yeah, and part of
Thank
our
you, Brian.
agenda, you're welcome. And part of our agenda tonight is minutes, which I did not prepare, but I will do that so we don't get too far behind. So no worries there. And I did get Darlene's subcommittee report. I sent that to Fran, Leslie, and Liz so that they could take that into account as they begin to do work for the outreach subcommittee. And then I know Kim, you're is a work in progress still.
I'm hoping to have it
and
done the end of this weekend. It has all of our results from our 3 engagement
yours.
meetings.
Those are yours.
That's awesome. That's awesome. And then Helena
That's a
and
triple X.
Mrs. Helena, Mrs.
Triple
B,
X.
and Stephanie, how are you doing?
Our group hasn't met again since Mrs. B's surgery and my transition. And so Stephanie and I briefly met last week, but it was only to say that we want to meet.
Yeah. Well,
So Stephanie did
yeah.
send out an email, and we're going to hopefully look at doing something next week to meet to finalize our report.
Yeah.
We
Well,
have
I hear
some,
you.
Stephanie and I made some suggestions, but we have to put a formal request or suggestion to the group
Okay.
in
Cool.
writing.
Yeah, I know you guys have great ideas, so I'm just really looking forward to seeing them, pop out. So, very good. Well, does anybody have anything else that they'd like to talk about? I'm looking forward to getting together with the different subcommittees, which I've been reluctant to do because I want people to feel like, we're not driving the conversations or influencing what the subcommittees might like to do and how they might like to do it. It's really not, a staff role. But I am looking forward to getting together with everyone. So, and one thing happened this
Brian-
morning.
Okay.
Go ahead. Yes, go ahead.
I was going to say, I just want to make sure, and I want this to go back to the city council as well, that when we're put to the task of putting together a recommendation to the city council for their consideration, and we put forth the effort that they really want it. I don't want them to take our recommendation, act on the recommendation, and then turn around and try to do something different, because what was the point of us doing what we're doing if they're going to second guess what we've done or make a different determination after they've made a decision on it.
Yeah. So here's the thing about what this committee is all about. Once your subcommittees are done and the EDCAC, says, yeah, this is all great, let's send this on to city council. And city council looks at it, they're going to give it a lot of weight. I know they will.
Yeah.
And because they love the work the EDCAC is doing, all of them. And I think that then what will happen is that city council will take a look at, do some prioritization, and you may get something back from the city council that says, here's what we think you guys ought to be thinking about as your ongoing sort of, policy-oriented evaluation. But here's what we think you should really work on. Here's what we think the staff should help you to do. And here's what we think our local strategy should be that the EDCAC will actually implement. And so staff will do some, council will do some, EDCAC will do some, and I think that I'm hoping that they will, actually put the EDCAC program.
It should be a
give
collaborative,
it some budget.
effort, right? A collaborative effort amongst all.
Yes, absolutely. And the city council already gives money to San Juan committee, and they're look for some changes based on the EDCAC's recommendations for, how the city supports economic development here and how we relate to what's happening in the county and in the region. So I'm really looking forward to seeing how the city council deals with it, just like you, Helena. So.
Perfect. That sounds like a viable plan, and I look forward to seeing that being developed further.
Yeah, awesome. Okay, does anybody else have anything that they'd like to talk about for the good? No.
No, well, the only other thing that I thought about is for, and it might have passed because I've been a little preoccupied lately, but is it downtown What's the program you were talking about earlier, Brian?
Business Association? Or the,
No,
oh,
no,
you
no.
mean that, oh, Main Street, Main Street.
Main Street, yes, Main Street. They're supposed to have a conference. Did that happen already? Or is that this month?
Don't know. Darlene, are you familiar with the conference that's coming up?
Well, there's two of them. There's one in Oceanside and then there's one in Boston. And I think the one in Oceanside is the beginning of March and the one in Boston's near the end of March, I believe. I'd have to
So-
look it up.
So we need to know who will be
You wanna send somebody?
representing. Yeah,
Mhm. How about we
Just
send a
in a-
couple people?
yeah, because in the meeting, that's what they were talking about, the importance
Yeah.
of being a participant. And this is going to be one of their first ones in a long time that's in person.
Yeah, let's do it.
And
At least two people.
And they
Yeah, we
said they're
could
not going to
send-
be recording. They're not going to be
Mm.
recording it.
Yeah. But
Can
so
we
maybe
send
could
out an
send-
email? Oh, sorry.
That's okay. Go ahead, Liz.
Can we send out an email to everyone with the dates and then see who's interested and who's able to go?
Yeah, because I think what Brian mentioned earlier, we're going to have a representation from each person from each subcommittee for this group. So yeah,
Mhm.
that would be nice.
Yeah, I see that. I'll talk to Dawn about, money available to send people to that. I know for
Yeah.
sure we can pay for registration. That's not a problem.
Well, we get
and then-
one registration.
We
right?
get one. I don't
Yeah,
know.
that's this one. I think that's what she said.
Okay, I have to look and see. But I'll, how about this? I'll get back to everyone about that, like Liz said, and then,
Okay.
and then there's time before your next meeting. No, there could be. Anyway, we'll figure it out. I'll get on
Okay.
it. Yeah, good idea, and thank you for that heads up. That's good.
No worries.
That's definitely something. I know Darlene has mentioned that in the past, and I just one of those things floating around. So
Well, I know when
very good.
Darlene, correct me if I'm mistaken, but in the last meeting that we attended together, I asked if you were going to go and you didn't think you were. Is that something that you still think?
Well, I don't know. I'd have to look at the new lineup. But when I first looked at the lineup, it wasn't all that interesting, but they now have, I think, more settled speakers in there. And that's the one in Oceanside that I would consider.
Mhm.
Okay.
Well, Boston would be fun, but not a little bit more expensive. All right,
Are
very
we-
good.
My last thing, are we going to do the final vote on elections? I know we did nominations, but we didn't actually vote.
Oh, yeah, sure. Okay, so let's have a motion to appoint Stephanie as chair and Teresa as vice chair. We can just do that in one motion.
So moved.
Seconded.
Okay, all in favor?
I
Aye.
Bye.
Aye.
Aye.
It's unanimous. Very good. Okay, excellent. Would someone like to make a motion to adjourn?
I
I
move.
motion that we adjourn.
I seconded.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right,
All
thank you,
very-
everybody.
Thanks, everyone.
Yeah,
Thank you
thanks.
very
It
much.
was good.
Bye-bye.
Hopefully next time we'll see each other.
Yeah, don't
Yes.
do webinar.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Perfect.
I'm gonna kill the webinar. All right.
Teresa, when are you back in town? A week?
I'll contact you.
Okay, because we gotta
Okay.
set it, now we have to have a meeting.
I know, I know.
Bye.
Bye.
All right. Bye, everyone.